going on, Jerome? It's a beautiful Friday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So the Vikings did a really cool thing. They brought in a tin-type photographer. So it takes these photos, and it's just like, whoosh, and that's imprinted on a piece of tin. It's like photographs from back in the day before film. And some of these will look really sharp, man. Like Kevin O'Connell, Kwesi, BFFs. It's looking good, man. I like it. Also, I think it's cool that like old-time stuff like this is coming back. Like, we need to, so tin type photos, yes, because it looks like one of those old timey photos that you get at the state fair or like at Valley Fair or something. You dress up and there's like, oh, I'm drinking a bottle that says XXX because it's moonshine. But also they need to bring back, I don't know, like cough medicine with cocaine in it. I don't know, maybe not. It came out of the gates a little strong. Anyways, there's a lot of microtransactions that went on yesterday. That was just, it was a lot. So first off, the Vikings did waive former first-round pick Lewis Cine, number 32 overall in the 2022 draft. It is what it is, and the Vikings ate around $6.8 million dead. He went unclaimed on waivers because no team wanted any part of that contract. But he was set to sign with the Jets practice squad, but then plot twist. Rap sheet. Yeah, about that. The Bills are actually signing former Vikings first-round safety Lewis Cine to their practice squad. Per me and Mike Garafolo. Many thought Cine would land with the Jets, but he's flying to Buffalo now, set to sign with the Bills practice squad. Joe Douglas wasn't happy. It was just like, people changed their mind. But it's interesting that Bills beat writers have honed in that the team really did like Cine in the 2022 draft. Now, everything is like revisionist history when it comes to things like this because I feel like no matter what happens, like team signs player X is like, oh, we were really in on him back in the day. Just throw a dart and then draw a bullseye around it, something like that. But also, what's really cool, so Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell talk about how relationships on this team are not just transactional, and a lot of organizations say that. But the Vikings, I don't think it's lip service, and I think it's legit, especially from Kwesi. Per Persuasion. According to Doogie Wolfson on Score North, some people close to Lewis Cine are incredibly happy with the Vikings front office, specifically Kwesi adofo-mensah. Now, after a player gets let go, usually people close to him aren't happy, but they are happy here. Sounds like Kwesi made some phone calls to help Cine out after he was waived. Quote, now Lewis will end up with the Buffalo Bills now that Kwesi was very helpful. That multiple people close to Lewis are very happy. Yes, it's disappointing it didn't work out, but there are no hard feelings that I heard from a couple of people saying, hey, Kwesi was great during this process. Now, it was after waivers had cleared, so it wasn't Kwesi with a ulterior motive of hoping that his contract got picked up, but helping him out, making some calls, calling up Brandon Beane or Joe Douglas and putting in a good word. It's good. It's really fantastic. So happy for Cine. I actually hope that Cine has himself a good career. Just not when he plays the Vikings. Ooh, Vikings, because initially it was supposed to be Vikings Jets, another chapter in the dumbest rivalry in sports history with Lewis Cine, but now it's Vikings Bills Super Bowl. Someone's got to win. Oh look, here comes the meteor. Next, like I said, there's so many things that went on. So Kene and Wangu, sort of a surprise wave by the Vikings at 53-man cutdowns because of his kick return prowess, and frankly looked pretty good as a runner, pass protector in preseason. But the Saints claimed him. Off of waivers. They had the number 14 waiver priority, but then he failed his physical and he's going to return to waivers. Now, this opens up the door because if he failed the physical, chances are other teams aren't going to claim him on waivers, so he might still end up back on the Vikings practice squad. I mean, that could shake things up, even though Kevin O'Connell and Kwesi were very adamant that Myles Gaskins is going to be the number one kick returner. I mean, this could change things. It's certainly interesting. Now, there's a lot of reasons that some players fail physicals. Some teams have different parameters, and I mean, Kene probably would have been a pass for some other teams, but who knows? But I mean, Kene has been dinged up at times throughout his Vikings career, except I don't think it's anything that would fail him in a physical. Like, he looked pretty damn good in preseason, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Also, other transactions. All right, so the Vikings signed quarterback Brett Rypien, former Boise State Bronco, recently of the Chicago Bears. Crooked Chicago Bears did very well in preseason. Oh, giving us the secrets of the Bears, even though the Vikings don't play the Bears until frickin' Thanksgiving. or right before Thanksgiving. So so many things are going to change between now and then. So the intel going to be kind of stale. But and then they waived Jaren Hall. Now, Jaren Hall is interesting because 5th-round pick last year, and you were thinking that, okay, maybe they'll groom Jaren Hall to be the long-term backup for J.J. McCarthy. He's looked good in spurts. He did not look good in the first half of the Packers game last year. But, just sort of is what it is. And also, Jaren Hall did look good in preseason. So you're thinking, okay, they'll keep him on the 53, just like they kept him on the 53 last year, and that's a long-term play. But then they waived him, and Kevin McConnell talks about how it was almost like good for him. Good for Jaren Hall long-term, and they're hoping to get him through waivers. And Kwesi and Kevin McConnell said something to the effect of, I do hope that involves him staying here and continuing that process. So just reading between the lines of what Kwesi and Kevin O'Connell said about Jaren Hall being waived, it's pretty clear that Jaren Hall was pissed, right? And one day you're on the 53 after initial cuts, and the next day you find out that you're waived. That affects your money, man. Also, Jaren Hall, maybe he got assurances that he would be on the 53, but the business is the business. But also, if you're Jaren Hall, you got to see that the path to being quarterback 1 is blocked here in Minnesota with J.J. McCarthy, right? And, Jaren Hall, he's got talent. Is he a quarterback 1? Probably not, but he doesn't have to believe that, right? So he may go somewhere else where he thinks that he may have an opportunity. Like Seattle makes a ton of sense because is Geno at 1? Geno's sort of aging out, and Geno's sort of hot and cold anyway. And also Sam Howell is the definition of hot and cold. And, Jaren Hall, Pacific Northwest, let's go. Let's go, man. But we're Rypien. So Rypien's regular season results, not so much in the 10 regular season games he appeared in, but in preseason, he was pretty damn dominant, especially in that Hall of Fame game. 86.9 PFF grade, third amongst all quarterbacks, 24-34, 335, 3 touchdowns, 0 picks, 73.5% adjusted completion rate, and a 131.4 passer rating, which is good. It's pretty damn good. So, obviously, we fans, we get attached to players, especially since the Mormon missile looked really good in preseason. But, it was a football decision. Kwesi, Kevin O'Connell, I'm sure the offensive coaching staff had input. And if they thought that the best course of action to improve this team was to add Brett Rypien to the 53 and waive Jaren Hall, trying to get him onto the practice squad, so be it. So be it, man. Speaking of practice squad, so the Vikings shuffled the deck a little bit. They signed tackle Ricky Lee III and running back Xavier Scott. Now, we'll do more extensive profiles on these guys outside of the dump, but it's interesting. So the initial Vikings practice squad had only players that have participated in training camp with them, and now bringing in 2 insiders. And also, they cut Dwayne McBride and wide receiver Deshaun Jones from the practice squad. Dwayne McBride had put in a ton of work in preseason at running back as well as kick returner, as well as Deshaun Jones. Deshaun Jones, frankly, looked good at times. And also, he got that large $225K signing bonus guaranteed from the Vikings when he signed up out of Maryland. So it's kind of interesting. But, the Vikings had a little bit of offensive line depth as well as they swappy a running back. Also, Vikings legend, Jared Allen. I love it, man. So, Jared Allen Culinary Academy. I like that he's getting out in the media more. Maybe Jared Allen's going to set up like a cowboy podcast. Well, no, not Dallas Cowboys, but actual Cowboys. Actual, wrangle beef for money. Wait, that doesn't sound correct either. Anyways, but Jared Allen out in Idaho or Montana, wherever he's hanging a shingle nowadays, start a podcast, man. So, Jared Allen on the McAfee Show, talk about the Vikings. AJ Hawk contributing, as always. He said this about the Vikings, quote, Kevin O'Connell does a great job for the Vikings. We're gonna be young and fast on the defensive side of the ball, and we'll be able to get after the quarterback. And he is 100% correct, because I, frankly, love this freaking defense. This defense is going to be so fun. I think the defensive line has come a long ways. They're obviously going to get after the quarterback's ass with AVG and Grenard and Turner and Pace. Cashman, I think, is going to be one of the more underrated inside linebackers in the game. I think Gilly, Shaq, and Murph is a beautiful alkaline trio at cornerback. And then, of course, you got Beasley, Harrison, and Metellus, the best safety trio in the National Football League. This defense is going to be fun. Are they going to be the shutdown 2000 Ravens, 2002 Bucks, 85 Bears? No, probably not. But Will they get after that quarterback's ass? Will they get themselves a turnover or two? Will they score a couple times? Will they give this offense the ball back in good field position? Yes. Yeesh. Certainly think so, man. Also, a weapon that showed up and showed out on Thursday. Nothing about the Gophers. I mean, North Carolina tried to give you that game. They're giving away now, but you would not take. But Colorado's going to be bad again, man. They struggled with NDSU. NDSU was fantastic, but they're an FCS team, right? And Colorado at home just really struggled. That defense is not good. Just not good, man. But what is good is Travis Hunter. Now, Hunter, famously a two-way player, cornerback and wide receiver. I think that he will be a better wide receiver in the league than cornerback. Even that's pretty close. Like I don't think that he should be a two-way player in the league. I think that it just will gas him, which opens him up to fatigue and injury. So now picks one side of the ball. I think he should be a receiver. I think he's legit, man. But 7 for 3 for 132 and 3 touchdowns, and also one of the like most acrobatic catches I've ever seen. Like the cornerback was just all up in his grill, and this resulted in a touchdown. It's pretty damn amazing, man. But, the body control, the leverage, the spatial awareness, and just the ability to make a play, Travis Hunter's going to be good, man. So the Vikings going to have to trade up into the top 5 to go get him. That's it, man. That's all. But that is it. Beautiful Friday. There's going to be a lot of things happening. Like, will Kene go through waivers again? Will he be back on the practice squad? Will Cine pick a different team? Today's a new day. Will Jaren Hall get through waivers? Will he return to the Vikings practice squad? If so, or is he pissed? Don't know, man. But we'll keep you abreast of all of the news, because that's what we do, man. I love this side hustle. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skull Production Value.